So today we are going to look at how to configure OneLogin in GroupID as a single sign-on entity. So I'm just going to go to Authenticate tab. Again, I will open the admin panel and I have to log in as a user who is authorized in ASMAN. So here I'm logging in as the administrator. Now going back to the browser, just going to quickly look at the Generate URL tab, select my application and copy this consumer URL. Now I'm going to open OneLogin. Now this is the home screen for OneLogin, and I'm just going to bring it in the window so it is easily viewable. Okay, so the first step is to add a new application in the OneLogin control panel. Just clicked on new app and I've got a list of applications. Here I will search for single sign-on or SAML, and there are so many options here, so we will just select the first one and keep it simple. Single sign-on desk connector using IDP protocol without any attributes or any sign responses. I'm just going to give this a friendly name so it will be recognized as an application. GroupID SAML IDP for users portal. I can further also upload an image that will be displayed in the front end. So I'm just going to click save here. Just wait for this to proceed. Now we need to go and add configuration values. So the URL that we copied is the consumer URL. I'm just going to paste it here as it is, and also this will be the same. The audience URL is actually a different one, so I'm just going to go back in the VM and capture the audience URL. To get the audience URL, just clicking on menu, clicking to add a new application, and this is the audience URL. However, we need to modify this to the correct application. So I've just selected the user's application and now I can copy this URL. Going back to the screen here, I'm just simply pasting this URL. Now this configuration is complete. Let's look at parameters. Email is the entity ID which will be used to authenticate. No rules are needed in this case. In SSO configuration, I'm going to modify the configuration algorithm to SHA-256. This is the issuer URL, the endpoint URL for post method and redirect method. So you can select any one. Going to the access tab, there is no policy available right now. Don't need to if you have configured any specific policies for users, then they will be listed and you can select any of those and then they will be enforced. Going to users tab, I've got a couple of users here. I'm just going to click on save. So we have successfully updated this new entity within OneLogin. I'm going to go to more actions and click on this SAML metadata file, which will download the file. I'm going to go inside the folder where I've got this export, copy this file, and going back to the machine and simply pasting this file here. Now we are going to import this file on our desktop. Loading file. The certificate is loaded, the client application is configured. However, the issuer and IDP login URL are still missing, so we will get them from OneLogin screen. Again, going to SSO. This is the issuer URL which I will copy and paste into the issuer section. And login URL, you can use either the post method or redirect. Will you go with the post method and just copy it and paste it here. Going to the advanced options, need to change the request binding to post as well, as we are using the post method. And not going to use the assertion encryption in this case to have a simple configuration, and the button will be displayed. The certification as a signing method is 256 SHA that we also selected, and here I will give a friendly name for this configuration: OneLogin OneLogin users portal, and just going to hit this create button, so this gets created. So we have this configured against the users portal now. Going back to OneLogin, we can add a new user for authentication. So I'm just going to go to users, and click on new user, and here I will just add the details of this user. And the username. That's about it. You can fill in the blanks if you want to. Probably you will already have the details for all the users who are going to authenticate using OneLogin. In this case, I don't have users already pre-populated, so I'm just going to add a new user, save this user. I'm going into the authentication tab, authenticated by OneLogin, default policy. The application against which he will be able to log in will be this first one that we just created, the new app for users portal. And here I'm just going to click on save, and saving is user. Now this user was successfully updated. Let's go back to the machine and try to log on using OneLogin on the users portal as Leah Ferguson. Leah Ferguson is a user who is a help desk user, a manager user with the manager role. So he will be able to log in successfully. I'm just going to browse this URL, and as we see, we have got a new button here. Just clicking here should redirect me to the OneLogin interface, and I'm going to specify this new user, and hit login. Oh, we have to also update the user's password in OneLogin. For some reason, during user creation, I wasn't prompted to set a password, so I'm just going to click on change password and set up a new password for this user. Just hit update, save. Now going back and going to try again. So now we have some sort of authentication going on, which means successfully we have logged in as the manager, Leah Ferguson, using single sign-on through OneLogin. I hope this video or tutorial becomes helpful in configuration of the SAML entity for OneLogin using single sign-on process. Thanks.